Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day, where I'm going to be talking about how you can sign up for the waiting list for our potential new audiobook feature, which I'm going to talk about a little bit. As usual, if you're watching this, you're probably watching the recording. So please skip ahead to the 2 minute mark. We record these as live streams just because I kind of like doing that and because some people prefer that. And we wait till the 2 minute mark of the video to really get going on the content of it because we just want to give whoever might be out there a little bit of time to jump in on the live stream. You can see these live streams if you're interested in on YouTube and X and on LinkedIn mainly. We're also live on Instagram for what that's worth right now. If that's your preferred way of watching these videos or other videos. Um, as always, there is also an accompanying blog post, which I will share in when the video gets going, that you can find on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. That's useful, of course, because on the blog post you can find helpful links and stuff like that. And there are people who really do prefer a kind of stable thing like a blog post as opposed to a video when it comes to kind of help resources and stuff like that, which is what these videos are meant to be a part of. Of course, if you have any questions about Leanpub, you can find our website at leanpub.com. You can easily search for the Leanpub Author Help Center, where you'll find, I think, over 1,000 articles that we've written. If you're interested in learning about self-publishing, improving your self-publishing game, learning about book marketing, learning about all the amazing things you can do nowadays in the self-publishing world. If you have a self-published book manuscript already prepared, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And yeah, and of course, if you have any questions or anything like that, email us at hello@leanpub.com, and you can find us easily on social media and everything like that. So here we are approaching the 2 minute mark when I really get going. 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2 minute mark of today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can sign up for Leanpub's audiobook feature waiting list. For anyone, familiar with Leanpub, if you're watching this, you probably are. Leanpub is a self-publishing platform for writing and publishing books. We have an upload writing mode so that if you've created a Leanpub ebook on your own PDF, EPUB, using your own tools, you can use Leanpub. You can upload your book, publish it on our amazing bookstore, earn 80% royalties on your sales, and create coupons, QR codes, like all the amazing storefront book marketing features that we offer. You can do all that obviously for free. But Leanpub also has writing modes of our own where you actually write your book on Leanpub. This is an amazing thing. We've connected the writing and the bookstore to each other directly, which is a very cool thing. But if you actually write your manuscript in one of our writing modes, that means we can do a lot of things with it that we can't do if you upload a book you've just created in your own, from our perspective, arbitrary tool chain. One of the things we can do from your book manuscript, if you've written it on Leanpub, is we can create translations using our Translate AI service. This is a very cool thing. It basically, when you write a book on Leanpub, we know what the structure is. We have all the text in a sort of plain text format, stuff like that. You can do all kinds of magical things. Another thing we can do if you've written a nonfiction book and it's appropriate for this kind of thing is we can take that book manuscript and we can create an online course from it. A robust online course with quizzes and exercises where people can get graded. You turn all the knobs and dials and stuff like that yourself as the course instructor. But we can get you started along the way. And the great thing about that is that now you've got a book, maybe you've got some translations. Now you've got an online course. An online course is a great thing because that means that people who are getting their professional development hours in for their job can, hopefully use their corporate credit card to buy your course at some multiple of what they would buy your book for, and then they can take the course and show the certificate and get to their boss or what have you, and get their professional development hours in, things like that. But of course, another thing that can come from a book manuscript is an audiobook. And let me just add the blog post to the stage here. So here's the blog, a post that's on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. If you can't find it there because you're watching this video sometime in the future, please just click the magnifying glass at the top right, and you will search for these keywords and you'll find this article. So yes, so obviously one of the things you can produce from a book manuscript, you've done all that hard work, spent all that time, away from your friends and family in an office or something, like however you did it. You've written this book manuscript. You've got this amazing resource, basically, creative resource. And one thing you can do is you can create an audiobook from it. Now, in the past, the way audiobooks were created was, and it still are these days, is typically it was a kind of, basically a superstar kind of thing, right? You had to have a book publishing company backing you with a book publishing contract. You've given away all kinds of rights and the vast majority of the revenue that the book's ever going to make to the publishing company. And in return, they'll hopefully do some things for you. One of those things they do and did for you was maybe hire a professional outfit to create a highly produced, amazing audiobook, maybe hiring, a famous movie star or something like that to narrate it, stuff like that. I think when a lot of people think of audiobooks, that's what they think of, and that's great. Those are amazing things. I love audiobooks myself. Uh, but another version of the audiobook that you can get is one that is basically generated using technology directly. And this is, if you're in the tech world, you're obviously familiar with this kind of thing. If you're not, and if you are in the tech world and you don't know how big audiobooks are, they're huge. Search audiobooks, Spotify, news, stuff like that. It's huge, the audiobook world. And one thing that we always like to point out to people at Leanpub is that, like, you know, just because you don't have a big book publishing contract and you're not going to get the highly produced, $1 million audiobook starring Benedict Cumberbatch reading your book or what have you, doesn't mean you should just do nothing. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot that people write just like you are doing. They're going out there and they're finding ways to create audiobooks. They might read it themselves. We've had some authors on Leanpub do that, and I'll explain that process a little bit at the end of the video. But basically, there's all kinds of great technology that can be used to produce audiobooks from book manuscripts now, or you can, change the tone and the voice and stuff like that. And so we've been sort of dipping our toe into these waters at Leanpub, and we are considering creating a audiobook generation kind of feature. This is the kind of thing that's hard to get right. I mean, you might think text to speech. My phone can do that right now. Yeah, your phone can do that. In fact, your phone can do that with the Leanpub app on our iOS app as well. But creating a good audiobook is a robust feature. And thing to be able to do, particularly maybe with Leanpub books. I mean, the funny thing is we often like to say, the technical books are the hardest books to produce in some ways, and they are. It's funny though that with like fiction and stuff like that, tones of voice, is that sarcastic? Is it exciting? Things like that actually become very, very important, and so fiction can actually be really hard to do. So anyway, this is a building audiobooks would be a huge feature. And so before we go ahead and do it, which we've created this waiting list that you can see here that I'm sharing on my screen right now. If you want to find it, let me just start at leanpub.com. If you're signed into your account as a Leanpub author, click on what I call the escape hatch on the top right here and click on author. And now you'll see a new page here. This is basically your kind of author dashboard. Click on audiobook. And here you'll see a list of books. I've got lots of kind of, gobbledygook kind of books in my kind of account because I do all kinds of, kind of tests and experiments and demos and stuff like that. You're not going to have, this many books in there. But what you can do is you can read the text that we offer there, where we talk a little bit about our proposed pricing. Someone pointed out recently that it's a little bit weird, the pricing, that it kind of gets higher per word as you go up in scale. So we might think about redoing that. But in any case, if you're interested in, having your book manuscript on Leanpub turned into an audiobook, if we do build this feature, please join the waiting list now. The waiting list is real. The books that are on the waiting list will be the first in line for the audiobook feature. So please go ahead and express your interest. Obviously, this isn't a commitment to pay or actually do it in the end. But just, please only click it if if you've read this and that pricing seems okay to you and you're serious about it. One thing we're trying to emphasize more these days on Leanpub than we have in the past is that, like, because Leanpub pays such a high royalty rate, for books over $10, you get an 80% royalty rate. If you think about, should I turn my book into an audiobook? If you sold, let's say, just doing the math in my head, but like if you sold, if you were selling your book for $10, which we don't typically recommend, we recommend about 20. But if you're selling your book for $10 a copy, and let's say you sell the audiobook for $10 per copy, you get $8 per sale. If you sell 20, that's $160, and you've made back our proposed cost for books up to 100,000 words. So for a $10 book, you sell 20 copies, you've made back the price of your audiobook. You know, that's a pretty low risk venture if you're thinking that way. But there's also, of course, potential huge upside, right? You know, having an audiobook is in addition to your book, now having an audiobook is a whole new, product out for sale for you to market. There's a lot of people who love audiobooks. They listen to them when they're walking around, they listen to them when they're at the gym, they listen to them when they're driving, or commuting, generally stuff like that. So actually having an audio, their hands are free, obviously, when you're listening to an audiobook. So an audiobook is a great, if you've already done all the work to create a manuscript, having an audiobook available is an amazing thing. We're thinking of doing this. And we'd really love to hear from you in the form of joining our waiting list if you're interested in this as well. I promised that I would talk about one more thing, which is that there actually have been Leanpub authors who've produced audiobooks in the past. And you wonder, well, how can I sell my audiobook on Leanpub? The way you can do that is we actually have a packages feature, which is pretty amazing. It means in addition to selling your book, you can attach digital files to it for sale. These could be videos. One of our best-selling books of all time has a sort of set of lecture videos that are sold along with it. But you can also, attach an audiobook file that you've maybe created yourself. And so what you would typically do in that case is you would sell the book, and then you would create a package that's the book plus the audiobook for some, higher price than you're actually selling the book on its own for. So that's the way that people have typically done audiobooks on Leanpub. I highly recommend this. If you've got an audiobook available for your book, you'll probably make more money selling it on Leanpub than you would elsewhere, at least per sale. Yeah, so let me just go back one more time here to the page. If you go to Leanpub, click on the top right, click on yourself, click on author, click on audiobooks, and you'll find the waiting list there. We're really excited about doing this. I hope and expect that quite a few Leanpub authors will be interested in this. So if you're interested, please join the waiting list, get in line today, and let us know what you think about this potential feature. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching this Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. If you have any questions or any suggestions for what we should do on these Tip of the Day videos, please reach out to us at hello@leanpub.com or find us on social media. And lastly, as we always like to say, please like and subscribe and everything like that. If you're a Leanpub author, by subscribing to our YouTube channel, you actually help yourself get discovered and other people get discovered, because the bigger the audience gets, and it's still pretty small these days, but the bigger it gets, which is how those things work. So thanks very much, everyone, for watching this Lean Publishing Tip of the Day video today.